Well, it turns out another rich guy who promised us he wasn't in the Epstein files is in fact in the Epstein files, and people on the internet are pointing out the irony that Elon, last time he talked about this whole situation, was accusing Trump of being in the Epstein files. He said real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, Donald Trump Jr. This tweet went extremely viral. He's since deleted it. But the whole idea was Trump's in the Epstein files. That's super incriminating. Well, Elon, you're in the Epstein files too, all over the place. We're going to get into what these email exchanges reveal about Elon and Epstein's relationship, but his response on the internet thus far has only incriminated him more, in my opinion. He's replying to pro-Elon accounts that are defending him, because that's all they do on the internet. They basically just defend Elon 24/7, saying things like, "No one pushed harder than me to have the Epstein files released." No one pushed harder than me to have the Epstein files released. Is that true? Because I distinctly remember Elon only talking about releasing the Epstein files in the month of July, and then going completely dead silent whenever he joined Trump world again. Trump threatened Elon's businesses. Elon was like, okay, I'm not going to feud with Trump anymore. And he never spoke about the Epstein files again. And I have Elon's Twitter up so we could see if my theory is correct. We have one tweet from July, back whenever they were feuding. We have September, which is more recent, but this is him denying his connection to Jeffrey Epstein. We have a July tweet. We have a July tweet. We have a recent tweet and a recent tweet, which are both denials about his relationship. Another denial, another denial. July. We can go through this all day, but the reality is Elon has only tweeted about Epstein on two different timelines. First, July and before, whenever he was feuding with Trump. And then afterwards, which was just to deny his connection with Jeffrey Epstein. That doesn't make you the person who has fought harder, pushed the hardest in the entire country for the release of the Epstein files. That makes you an opportunist who never really cared about the victims of Jeffrey Epstein. That's not principle. That is the opposite of principle. And now he's tweeting like, every hour or 2 hours about the Epstein situation, trying to take attention away from himself. He's issuing denials like, I have never been to any Epstein parties ever. Well, I don't know if we believe you, Elon. First, let's go through these emails that Elon exchanged with Jeffrey Epstein. So this is about basically Elon reaching out to Epstein to try to come to the island, and then it, seemingly not working out. Elon is asking, what day/night will be the wildest party on your island? The wildest party on your island. He's like, yeah, when should I come? When is going to be the craziest party? They're trying to find a good time for him to come. Do you have any parties planned? I've been working to the edge of sanity this year, and so once my kids head home after Christmas, I really want to hit the party scene in St. Bart's or elsewhere and let loose. The invitation is much appreciated, but a peaceful island experience is the opposite of what I'm looking for. Interesting, Elon. So I didn't go to his island, actually. I just really wanted to go. That's pretty interesting. He says, understood. I will see you on St. Barth. The ratio on my island might make Talila uncomfortable. Ratio means ratio of women to men. And Talila was Elon's girlfriend at the time, his partner. Like, it's really clear Elon's like, I want to go to crazy parties. And Epstein's like, just so you know, there's going to be a lot of girls there. And Elon doesn't seem to have a problem with that. And so the reality is, even if it is the case that Elon never went to Jeffrey Epstein's island, it's not because he didn't want to or he had an issue with Epstein. It's because they just couldn't find a time. And this totally conflicts with what Elon said in the past. We have this Vanity Fair article from 2019 where Elon said, he repeatedly tried to get me to visit his island. I declined. That's not what the emails show us. He also just denies some other stuff that other people have alleged about their relationship. He said, I don't recall introducing Epstein to anyone, as I don't know the guy well enough to do so. Epstein is obviously a creep, and Zuckerberg is not a friend of mine. Meanwhile, reporters reported that actually Elon Musk is the one who introduced Epstein to Mark Zuckerberg. So who do we believe? Do we believe the guy who keeps lying about his relationship with Epstein to pretend like it was more distant than it was? Or do we believe literally every other piece of evidence? And this is not the only time where Elon's rhetoric about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein has completely contradicted every other piece of evidence. Look at this. Sky News. Elon Musk and Prince Andrew named in the latest Epstein files release. He said, shame on Sky News for this utterly misleading headline. Anyone pushing this narrative deserves complete contempt. Wait a minute. You are in the Epstein files release. This happened. Why should they deserve contempt for this? He said, Epstein tried to get me to go to his island and I refused. That's not what we see in the emails. You're asking him. Actually, it's him, the one who's like said, I don't really, I'm not going to be there at that point in time. So that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. We also have Elon pictured with Ghislaine Maxwell, which is something that he's denied in a super implausible way. Here's what he said. Don't know Ghislaine at all. She photobombed me once at a Vanity Fair party several years ago. Real question is why Vanity Fair invited her in the first place? Yeah, dude. We also found out that Elon, and we found this out a little while ago, was in Epstein's schedule book. This was released by the Epstein estate. Reminder, Elon Musk to island December 6th. And this is 2014. The emails are from 2012. So Elon keeps seemingly being scheduled to go to Epstein's island, but I'm told it definitely never happened. This was released by the Oversight Democrats. It's real, and it was gotten by the Epstein estate. Is this false too, Elon? Well, here's what his response was. And we know that we can trust him, right? Because he has so much credibility on this subject. And it's not just Elon that's been caught with egg on his face. Howard Lutnick, which was literally the neighbor of Epstein, said he went over one time in like 2005. And he was so disgusted that he never hung out with Epstein again. And then we found out from this recent release, yeah, he did actually. Bill Gates, his connection with Jeffrey Epstein. And Elon's been talking big smack about Bill Gates and Epstein's connection. There's all these clips of him accusing Bill Gates of having an inappropriate relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Do you really have room to talk, though? All of these guys that are on the Epstein files, they're all pointing fingers at each other. Oh, yeah, he was terrible with Epstein. He's lying about his relationship with Epstein. These guys were awful. Dude, you're also bad. Like I just think it's hilarious. I don't know. It's like, do they think that we're never going to find out? Well, we found out. And I'm sure we're going to find out even more as we dig through these files and we get even more files about how the elite billionaire class has completely lied to us openly. And also the FBI. Remember when Kash Patel said there was no evidence that Jeffrey Epstein sexually trafficked minors? Look at these files. Are you serious? Are you serious? There's no clients? Come on. Guys, if you enjoy these videos, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.